Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is named Breaking the Barriers, and this channel is going to have all the videos for CBSE English and later on ICSE as well. So today I am making this video for the first chapter of class 12th. Yes, this video is on demand by students of class 12th, and we are going to start with our syllabus with the first chapter, that is the last lesson. Now we will not be using any guide or just open your NCERT book in front of you. I am going to read from the NCERT book and going to explain you the complete chapter line by line, for which I am popular among my students. So just open your NCERT books quickly and we'll start with the chapter. So we are going to start with reading about the author, which is given at the top below the title. So it says that Alfonso Daudet is the author, was a French novelist and short story writer. The last lesson is set in the days of the Franco-Prussian War, which was held from 1870 to 1871. Now, France and Germany had a war in 1870-71. Now, students are confused that, sir, here it is written Franco-Prussian War, and later on we come to know that the Germans were capturing France. So what is this? Actually, Prussia is a state of Germany only. So when we talk about the Franco-Prussian War, we are talking about war between France and Germany. Okay, Prussia is not another region or not another country. It's a state or a part of Germany itself. Clear? France was defeated by Prussia led by Bismarck. Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland and parts of Austria. Okay, so Prussia in those days is presently mixed with the nations of Germany, Poland and parts of Austria. In the story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine. Now district को हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं जिला. तो French के दो districts थे, Alsace and Lorraine, which were won by the Prussian forces, and now Prussian forces are governing these regions, overpowered these regions. Read the story to find out what effect this have on the life of a school in one of these states. Now I'm going to start with the first para of the explanation. Now this story basically deals with two main characters. First is the student Franz and second is the teacher M. Hamel. Okay, so M. Hamel was a French teacher who was teaching in a school in these regions, and he was a very famous and popular teacher of that area because he was working in that particular school for many years. We will know for how many years specifically in the coming parts of the chapter. And Franz is the student, and obviously like any other student, he is also not showing a lot of interest in the learning of his own language. Like in India we have our mother tongue, that is the Hindi language, but we see that generally students are not very much interested in learning Hindi because they think, oh, this is our own language, we speak it throughout the day, what's the need of focusing on that particular thing extensively? We will learn it, we already know how to speak, what's the matter, what's the need? Similar is the case here also. The French people, although French is their native language, are not that much inclined towards learning the language because they believe that this is their own mother tongue which they speak day in and day out. What is wrong if they don't know how to write it? What's the big deal? And that is why they don't give much importance to this language. But very soon this perspective is about to get changed. We'll see how. So France is talking to you through this chapter in first person context. Means wherever I, me, these words are used, these are used for France. So as we move with the first paragraph, it is written, I started for school very late that morning. That morning, the day about which he is describing to you in this chapter, and was in great dread of a scolding, especially because M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participles. Now, participle is a topic of grammar, and he is quite late and he's running towards the school, walking briskly towards the school, and he's sure that today I will get a scolding from my teacher M. Hamel because today is an oral test on participles and I have not prepared it. and I did not know the first word about them. Means not at all is prepared about it. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors, bunking the school. I can assume that you all are smiling at this moment. Everybody has somewhere or the other in their life always thought about bunking the school. So you also thought about that. It was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirruping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. Now, this first line, Prussian soldiers were drilling, gives you an idea that these areas are already captured and intruded by the Prussian soldiers. They are everywhere seen throughout the area. So we move ahead. It was all much more tempting than the rule of participles. Obviously, bunking the school and moving out is much more tempting than sitting inside the class and learning. So, the same thing he's saying. But I had the strength to resist and hurried off to the school. But he resisted those temptations. Okay, no problem. I will go to school. And he ran towards the school. When I passed the town hall is the main building of that area. There was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. Now, this town hall was one of the prominent places of those region. So, a bulletin board was kept over there, and any order of the government which was passed that was stuck on that bulletin board over there, so that people who are passing by could read and know about these new orders. Now, those were the days 1870 71. We were not having advanced technology like we have today. People were not carrying smartphones. Not everybody has television in their houses. So these bulletin boards serve as a medium to carry the messages. So there was something written for the last 2 years. All our bad news had come from there. There means that bulletin board. The lost battles, the newses of the war. Okay? The lost battle, the draft, the orders of the commanding officers, what you have to do. And I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now. He was in a hurry to go to the school. That is why he didn't stop to look at the bulletin board. But as he was passing by, he saw a mob of people over there looking at the board. So he thought that what might have happened? Why is there a lot of public today on the streets? We move ahead. Then, as I hurried by as fast as I could, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin called after me. Don't go so fast, Bub. You'll get to your school in plenty of time. So, as he was passing by, suddenly a man saw him, and he was a blacksmith. We all know what's a blacksmith. And he was there with his apprentice. He was looking at the bulletin board, and as soon as he saw Franz running toward the school, so he shouted out towards Franz and said, "Don't run so fast, you will reach your school on time." Okay, so this is the first part of the chapter. So Franz thought that this blacksmith is making fun out of him, and he thought that he would run as fast as he could so that he could reach the school. So Franz reached M. Hamel's Little Garden, and M. Hamel was having a house which was attached to the school, and just in front of the house he had his garden. Usually, when school began, there was a great bustle which could be heard out on the streets. Now, we all are familiar with this thing. You know, when you reach school early in the morning, how you shout in the buses and how you run in the corridors till the teachers are not there to control you. You are all like wild animals, isn't it? The opening and closing of desks, these were the various noises which were coming from the school building. Opening and closing of the desks, lessons being repeated in unison, like you recite the lessons just to learn them, and very loud with our hands over our ears to understand better. Now, obviously, if in the next class students are shouting or students are reciting a lesson again and again loudly, so you keep your hand on your ears so that you can concentrate better on your own work. And the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. You know, sometimes teachers have the habit to control the class or to give their instruction. They thump the duster or the ruler on the desk. I also do it sometimes. But now it was all so still. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. So he thought it that all in this hustle bustle, in this loud noises, I will quietly reach my desk without M. Hamill knowing that I am late and I could get rid of the punishment. This was his plan. But today this plan is not going to be successful. Why? We'll see ahead. But of course, that day everything was quite like a Sunday morning. That day was something was unusual. That was that nobody was shouting in the school. Everything was quiet and peaceful like the Sunday morning. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places. Means he's late. M. Hamill was walking up and down with his iron ruler under his arm. The class has already started. Now, M. Hamill used to have a habit that he used to have an iron ruler and he used to keep that iron ruler under his arm while he used to walk to and fro in the classroom. This was his style. So we move ahead. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. Means everybody is going to see him, including Mr. Hamill, that Franz is late for school today. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. He was quite frightened, डरा हुआ था, because he was thinking any moment Mr. M. Hamill is now going to scold me. But nothing happened. Franz was surprised. M. Hamill didn't scold him. M. Hamill saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you." Today, something surprising happened. Generally, on normal days, every time when a student is late, Mr. M. Hamill used to scold him. But today, surprisingly, when he saw Franz coming late, he said, come on, come in quickly, little Franz. We were about to start without you." Means no scolding. So he was surprised. What is the matter today? Why is my teacher not scolding me? So let's move ahead. I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, I had got a little over my fright. Means now he's trying to calm himself down, he's trying to ease himself, and suddenly he realized that his teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and his little black cap. So as soon as he calmed down, he saw that Mr. M. Hamill is wearing the green coat, frilled shirt, and black hat. Now this was a dress which was worn by Mr. M. Hamill on some special days. Now what is special about this day that he is wearing this dress? This was quite surprising for France, and it is going to be quite surprising for us also. So usually M. Hamill used to wear this attire, this dress, on only 2 days. That was, he never wore them except on the inspection days and the prize days. When there was inspection on the school, when other people from outside the school will come to the school to inspect that everything is fine. And second is the prize days, whenever the prizes are going to be distributed. These were the 2 days when he used to wear it. But today there is no inspection, no prize day. Still he is wearing it. So what's the reason? We'll see to it. Besides, the whole school seems strange and solemn. Solemn means serious. But the thing that surprised me most, me means friends, most was to see on the back benches of the class there were village people sitting. Generally, these back benches were always used to be empty, but today village people were sitting over there very quietly. Old Hauser was the first person. Hauser means a farmer. An old farmer was sitting with his three-cornered hat. Three-cornered hat, it's a kind of hat, you must have seen it. Jack Sparrow was wearing that kind of hat in the movie Pirates of Caribbean. Understand? Three-corner. Next, the former means ex-mayor. Ex-mayor was also sitting, and the former postmaster was also sitting, and several others besides. Everybody was looking sad, and the hawser has brought an old primer. Now this old hawser, this old farmer has brought an old primer. Old primer means an old canvas book or an old simple book which is thumbed at the edges, means it is very old book, it is worn out at the edges. कोनों से वो बुक घिसी हुई है, फटी हुई है, वो प्राइमर जो है, कैनवस जो है, घिसा हुआ है, फटा हुआ है कोनों से, thumbed at the edges, and he had it open on his knees. वो अपने घुटनों के ऊपर उसको रखे हुए है, with his great spectacles lying across the pages, and on top of the pages of that elementary book or that primer there is his spectacles. Means we can assume that from many days he has not opened this primer or book, and today he's sitting over there with this old book in his lap trying to open the pages and understand what is written in this book. Clear? While I was wondering about it all, that how, what is all is happening and all, M. Hamill mounted his chair, means sat on his chair, and in the same grave and silent and gentle tone, grave means serious and gentle tone, gentle means polite, which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin. We all know that Berlin is in Germany, to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Alsace and Lorraine are the two districts of France which are captured by the Prussian forces now during the war. And a command or an order has been passed that from tomorrow in these districts only German language will be taught in the schools. That means today is the last lesson or the last class of the French language in the school. Now you understand why M. Hamill is wearing his best dress, why the school is silent, why things are unusual, and why these elder peoples like the old hosser, the mayor, the postmaster are sitting at the end of the class. They are paying a tribute to the teacher because from tomorrow onwards, M. Hamill is not going to teach them French. From tomorrow onward, they will only be taught the foreign language German. These German people are trying to overpower them by enforcing their language on the French people. Like I give you an example, when the Britishers came to India as traders and later on they started capturing various district and province of India. Later on, when they become the rulers of the nation, they tried to prescribe their own English language in our culture. The schools education was being given in English, newspaper were being published in English, Indian students were given English education so that they could work for the British government. What any oppressor tried to do, or what any former person who has captured another country or a region try to do, is they try to force their culture, their tradition and their language on the people so that the people could easily dilute their own culture and can accept this new culture in their life. French people will completely forget their language in coming years if they will demolish this language from the schools. This is the beginning of that era, and they are from the next day onwards. They are only going to teach German in the schools. So you understand why they are doing this, why German is being taught. Okay. While I was wondering about it all, M. Hamill mounted his chair. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive. This is what M. Hamill said. What a thunderclap! Thunderclap means sudden surprise or shock. These words were to me. Oh, the wretches! That was what they had put up at the town hall. So now he realized that this was that particular notice or that order which was put up at the town hall, which everybody was reading very curiously. The same order that from tomorrow onwards, only German language will be taught. Clear? So obviously this is a big surprise for everyone that from tomorrow onwards Mr. M. Hamill will not be teaching them their native language and they will be taught the German language instead. And we see what happened ahead. So he says, my last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. Now he is realizing his mistake, that he has wasted his time. Up till now, he didn't paid attention to the French classes, and now he's saying, "Oh, today is the last French class, and I hardly know how to write French. I should never learn anymore. Why? Because from tomorrow onwards, nobody is going to teach me French. I must stop there and then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons." Now he is realizing that, oh, I made a big mistake by not learning my lessons. And instead of paying attention to his lessons, he used to do other activities to pass his time. Like today, you can neglect your studies and you can devote your time in PUBG and other things like Insta, Facebook, and all. But suddenly, if you got to know that from tomorrow onward, studies will be cancelled, will you regret it? Yes, the same thing is here done by France. And he's saying, instead of studying or paying attention on my lessons, what did I did? I went out for seeking the birds' eggs. This was his time pass. Okay, like he used to search for the bird's nest and eggs, and or going sliding on the Sar. Sar is a river of that area, so he used to go to the river side and used to play. And he's saying, my books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, थोड़े टाइम पहले लगता था अरे बुक्स तो बेकार है एकदम, सडनली अब उन बुक्स की बहुत वैल्यू लग रही है उसको. ही इज सेइंग दैट so heavy to carry previously, oh, it's a burden on me, my books. My grammar and my history of saints was old friends. Now these books, this grammar book, history book, they are all looking like old friends which I cannot give up. अब लग रहा है कि वो बुक्स पुराने दोस्तों की तरह हैं जिनको हम कभी नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं. सो देखो कैसे चेंज आया. Made me forget that I will not be able to learn this language again. Everything he forgot. He forgot the M. Hamill's rude behavior, his ruler, his cranky nature, or his strict nature, stern nature. Everything he forgot means all the negative aspects of Mr. M. Hamill are washed away from his mind because he is going, and Franz felt pity for him. He says, "Poor man, it was an honor of this last lesson that he has put on his best Sunday clothes." So that is why he is wearing these best Sunday clothes now, Franz realized. And he's saying, now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service. So this line shows that M. Hamills was teaching French in that school since 40 years. And that is why every villager is there inside the classroom. They are paying their respect or giving tribute to the teacher for his faithful service and showing respect for the country that was theirs. But no more. Means now it is overpowered by the German forces. So we move ahead with the explanation. So he's saying, while I was thinking all of this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. Whenever a teacher takes an oral test in the class, student after student, he calls out the name. Okay, now you tell me, now you tell me. So suddenly, Mr. M. Hamill called the name of Franz. And he said, it is your turn to recite, matlab to tell me the rules, grammar rules of participle. And he's saying, means France is thinking, what would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule of participle? He's saying, oh, I could have given anything in my life just to say that rule of participle today. But I am very sorry that I don't remember it. He's regretting it. So he's saying, what would I have not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through very loud and clear without one mistake. He's saying I could have given anything, but I got mixed up with the first words. Means he fumbled and he mixed up the first words. He is not able to tell the rule. And he stood there holding on to the desk. He's holding on to his desk and his heart is beating very fast because he's nervous and he's not daring to look up. जैसे क्लास में हमसे टीचर कुछ पूछता है, हमें आंसर नहीं आता है तो हम ऐसे नीचे सर झुका के खड़े हो जाते हैं, तो वैसे ही फ्रांस भी कर रहा है. ही इज नॉट एबल टू गिव द आंसर. I heard M. Hamill say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel very bad enough. See how it is. Now he is telling the situation that they are stuck in. Every day we have said to ourselves, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. We always said this thing. This is M. Hamill saying that हमने हमेशा ये सोचा, अरे बहुत समय हमारे पास, कल सीख लेंगे, फ्रेंच ही तो सीखनी है. And now you see where we have come out. That's the great trouble with Alsac. Now here he mentioned the word Alsac, and for the first time in this chapter we got to know that between Alsac and Lorraine they are in Alsac. ठीक है, तो एम हैमिल ये स्कूल फ्रांस ये सब कौन सी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है? Alsac डिस्ट्रिक्ट में. So he's saying this is the problem with Alsac. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Okay, we'll learn tomorrow. We'll learn tomorrow. Now those fellows means the German fellows who are capturing the districts. Those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be a Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? कहने का मतलब अब उन लोगों के पास, उन जर्मन लोगों के पास ये राइट है कि वो तुमसे बोल पाएंगे कि तुम कहते तो हो कि तुम फ्रेंचमैन हो, बट ना ही तुम फ्रेंच लिख पाते हो ना ही फ्रेंच बोल पाते हो. मीन्स दे विल टॉन्ट अस एंड इट विल बी अ बिग इंसल्ट फॉर अस. ओके, but you are not the worst, poor little Franz. We've all had a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Now he's saying, Franz, this is not only your mistake, we all have made mistakes. Like now he's telling you who all made mistakes. He said, your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. This is M. Hamill's dialogue. ठीक है? They prefer to put you to work on a farm or at the mill so that you can have some more money. So he's saying that आपके माँ बाप ने आपको पढ़ाने से ज़्यादा ज़रूरी काम पे भेजना समझा, मिल्स वगैरह में आपको काम पे लगाया ताकि आप थोड़े एक्स्ट्रा अर्निंग कर सको. एंड I've been to blame also. And he's saying, एम हैमिल कह रहे हैं कि बीइंग अ टीचर मेरी भी थोड़ी गलती है. क्या गलती है? Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? So he's saying many times instead of teaching you, I have sent you to my garden to water my plants. And many times when I was in a mood to go out on fishing, I have declared a holiday. So these are mistakes on my part. So being a teacher is also saying that I also made some mistakes. Then from one thing to another, Mr. M. Hamill went on to talk of the great French language. है ना? So now at the end, he's trying to tell you that how great this French language is, saying that this is the most beautiful language and the most logical language in the world. So Mr. M. Hammer is saying that French language is the most logical and beautiful language in the world, the clearest language. Then we must guard it among us and never forget it. Although we will not be able to teach you French language from tomorrow, but whatever we know in ourselves, we should guard and protect it, and we should forward it to our coming generations. Because when people are enslaved, now why is it important for you to keep your language alive? Because when people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, means as long as they know their language, it is as if they have a key to the prison. अपनी भाषा की नॉलेज होना ऐसा है जैसे आप जेल में बंद हो और आपके पास ताले की चाबी है. मतलब it is so important. That is what he's trying to say. Then he opened a grammar book and started reading the lesson. Now suppose if you are in prison, then what can take you out of that prison? The key. Similarly, he's saying that the language is the only thing that can take you out from the difficult times that are about to come under this German rule. And then he opened a grammar book and started reading a lesson. Okay. So I'm finishing this video here, and the remaining part of the chapter I will continue in a second video, because if I will try to cover the complete chapter in this video, then this video will be too long, more than an hour. So watch this video, try to understand the chapter, and if you like this video and you want the second part and you want me to continue with this series of class 12th videos, please subscribe the channel, like the video, and tell me in comment section that what all you liked in this video. Those comments will motivate me to make more videos for you all. So it's bye for now. Happy learning.